While studying abroad can be great for you personally, your parents can be intimidated by the idea if you talk about it in front of them for the first time. Or maybe you're just intimidated yourself to talk about the idea in front of your parents. And that's something that can happen to anyone at all. If you've never mentioned this plan or your parents have had a completely different plan for you, I don't blame you. I understand that because I also come from a similar family and I have been in your shoes. Now, I've put together 5 steps and I'm going to be giving you a bonus tip in the end to make sure that you can convince your parents to let you study abroad successfully. Okay, so let's begin right away with them. Point number one, that you need to do your research. Okay, it is really important for you to know how are you going to be managing your finances. The money part is important, then the health and safety part, of course, comes in, right? What are your plans? What are your timelines? Because again, that's something that you really need to be clear about. You need to show your parents that you have done all the research that you could have. Okay, which program are you applying for? Which country are you going to? Etc. etc. What are your future plans? All of that has to be laid down very, very carefully by you. Okay, it's important that you do this research right now, and the reason is that when you present all of this to your parents, you want to show them a clear picture, a clear pathway. That this is what I'm going to be doing in the next 3, 4 years. This is my plan. If you let me do this, I assure you that you will have this as the output. So you need to have all of these things figured out. Okay, so do your research. That's point number one, guys. Point number two is to show them what is on offer for them. Okay, it's important to understand everyone is looking to gain something, right? Now, your parents may not be looking for personal gain, but they may be worried about your safety. But the cost should actually bring about some results, right? If they're paying that cost, they're sending you away to a different country, they should also be getting something. Or in this case, you should also be getting something because in most cases, they just care about the best for you, right? So in this case, you can tell them that you'll be a global citizen. You'll have traveled different countries, right? So that's a good point. You'll be more independent, right? You'll know how to survive all by yourself. That's making yourself independent, making your kids independent if your parents are sending you. And then there's cultural sophistication. You will be more culturally sophisticated. You will know how to gel up with people from different cultures, how to survive amongst a metropolitan culture, where people from different areas come in, different kind of countries come in together to be in one place. And you want to take advantage of that. And finally, it's your pathway to an exposure to an international life. You need to show them all of that. Okay, so of course, your parents will get a little bit more of their own time, but if you're coming from an Indian family, or your family is really, really, a little bit backward, and the thing that you should stay in your own country, you should basically work in your own country and stay with your parents. I understand that as well, but at the end of the day, if you show them that there are massive advantages to studying abroad, it will definitely make them shift their minds towards the idea of accepting it. Point number three, and this is your biggest hurdle if you are not coming from a rich family, and that is finances. And even if you're coming from a rich family, you yourself may not be rich, right? Your parents may be rich, you yourself may not be rich. Okay, so finances are something that you need to have figured out before you go ahead and plan your studies abroad. Now, the way to do that would definitely not be to bank on scholarships, but at the same time, you need to know about them. Okay, scholarships are important, and for that, of course, you need to already have good grades in the country you're currently studying in. Okay, good grades should definitely be there. And apart from that, your test scores should be top notch, extracurriculars should be there, and finally the application that you send into universities, that should be really strong. Okay, so again, all of these things will comprise of the fact that whether you'll be able to get these scholarships or not. Finally, there are always options of loans, personal funds. Hey, maybe you yourself started your own business in college itself, in school itself, and you have some personal funds from it, right? Something like that. Again, those funds, you can tell your parents that I've saved up this much and I'm willing to contribute. Okay, anything that you contribute, no matter how small it is, trust me, your parents will see that you are putting in the effort to make your dream come true, and they will understand that this is important to you, and that's what you need to show them. Finally, point number four, what I like to do is to connect them with real people with authority. Let me tell you who are the people with authority, okay? Now, some of them can be your friends who are already studying abroad, right? who have the experience, who really know how things work when they go forward with the education overseas. And your parents will be so much more confident sending you overseas when they know that you will have the guidance of someone who's already done it or is doing it right now. Okay, then there's the university personnel. The university will be more than happy to connect you with people from their staff, advisors who will be happy to connect with you or your parents over Zoom calls, Skype calls, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, they will be more than happy to connect with these guys, and they will be happy to convince your parents for you. So most of your job is already done. Whatever questions your parents might have regarding the finances, regarding the loans, etc., etc., all of those will be covered by these advisors as well. So most of your work can just be done by this one Zoom call. And finally, if you have someone yet that you will be applying together with, that is probably the best case scenario, because again, if a friend is applying with you, that means that there's two of you now instead of just one, which makes it so much more probable that you will be successful in your journey. Finally, point number 5 is to show your parents that there are ways that you will be able to stay in touch and give them the same amount of time that you give them right now. It may not be physically in front of them, but even though it is virtually, you can definitely set up timings over Zoom, over other calling apps, WhatsApp, whatever you prefer, right? And you guys can always meet almost on a daily basis. Most of the times you can set up a time and you can basically go ahead and meet your parents within seconds, right? Even though it's virtually, it works. And trust me guys, get out of your country. I'm saying that because I know it will help you grow so much. You have no idea what is waiting for you on the other side of the borders, because as long as you are going in the right direction, of course there's so many things that can go wrong as well, but you'll learn so much about crisis management, you'll learn so much about being independent. And that's something that you need to show your parents, that look, I need to do this for myself, and this is the journey that I'm choosing, because again, I'm looking forward to growing the hard way, and I feel that there will be so much more in my life if I do this. Okay, so that's important. And finally, if your parents still don't understand or still don't listen, you can make a bet. And this is the bonus tip I was talking about. You can make a bet. Look, just let me apply to the universities. Applying is not so costly, right? I mean, it is costly, but still not as much as compared to what you pay to the universities. Pick a country, right? Apply to universities from that country, just maybe 5 universities, right? And show your parents that, look, if I get this amount of scholarship, or if I get this amount of admissions, then you'll let me go ahead and study abroad. Okay, make a bet, and your parents would probably make it banking on whether you may not be able to get it, or whatever it is. At the end, if you have some admits in your hands, you can definitely go forward with them, and you can use those to convince your parents. And finally, at the end of the day, let's not always have a backup. If you're not gonna be able to study abroad for some reason, right, there could be a million reasons, but one is enough in most cases. So if that happens, just by case, you should have a backup, maybe a university that you'll go ahead and study in your country itself, just in case plans fall through. Okay, but apart from that, these things should help your parents understand. And parents, if you're watching this, give it a chance. If your kids are responsible, right? If your kids are responsible and they know what they're doing in life, I feel that this will help them grow more than anything else that you could do for them. Let them be independent, let them open their wings, and I assure you that the result is something that you will be proud of. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. There's more such content coming soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care for now.